Hey guys, and welcome back to Token Tech. Today I wanted to bring you guys a short video on Vega 56. Now, some of you might know I don't own a Vega 56, but if you guys have checked out this video, has Vega 56 caught up to the 1080 in 2019. It's a video by Hardware Unboxed. I'll link it down below. And as you can see by this chart, they did a lot of testing. They were testing out this claim if the Vega 56 has in fact caught up to the 1080 GTX 1080, as some people have claimed. And as you can tell by this chart they have here, that's true for some games and not true for other games. And well, this is the 1070. Hold up, we gotta back it up because they do have a graph, which is the 1080. Here we go. I was about to say, okay, so this is the 1080 graph. You can see how it's only faster in a handful of games and slower in a bunch of others, but it has caught up significantly. It used to be a lot slower than the 1080. Remember, this card competed around the 1070 to 1070 Ti, and definitely not the 1080. Now it's actually within 10% of a 1080, which is fantastic considering the price difference. And as you already saw, if we just go forward a little bit, it just demolishes the 1070. Like, this card is, well, it's around 10% faster than a 1070 in these games that they tested. And again, in what I would say are more popular titles, it is faster than the 1070. And again, competes pretty well with the 1070 Ti, if not a little bit faster than the 1070 Ti. So it's a very, very, very good. It's awesome, right? It might not have launched this well, but it is pretty well now. And again, this is just testing Vega 56 as it is out of the box. If you've seen any of my other videos, Vega 56 as well as Vega 64 have a lot of performance just sitting there under the hood. There's a lot you can do to unlock every little bit of its performance. I'll link the other video down below too, so you guys can check it out. Right, so over here I had eBay, right, some used Vega 56s, which can be had for relatively good prices. This one is the reference design for $265. This is another blower style. I think it uses the reference PCB. Don't quote me on that, but this is $250, right? If we keep scrolling down, you'll see some $265, $250 for reference, right? Again, you're going to want to calculate shipping. I talk about this in my eBay video if you guys want to check that one out too before you buy. I give a whole bunch of tips and tricks on how to actually buy a graphics card on eBay. But yeah, no, these are some pretty good prices for Vega 56 used. Now, I'm pointing out the blower style cards because I think if you're going to buy a used card and you're going to buy a blower style, you should think about putting it underwater. By that I mean getting a liquid cooler, putting it on there, and really overclocking it to the maximum. But we'll talk more about that in just a second. If we hop over onto Newegg, you can see that you can get brand new, just absolutely new, not untouched graphics cards for about $300. Now again, this is a refurbished one, and you can, roll your dice with that one. But I would stick with this one. If you want to buy new, go ahead and grab this one, the ASRock Phantom Gaming. That's again a reference PCB, which we all know are overbuilt. It's basically a Vega 64 PCB. $300? That's crazy. That's so good value. Because remember, this card competes with the 2060, the RTX 2060, right? This card competes with that, and this is $50 cheaper. It will destroy a 1660 Ti, and it's priced just about the same as the 1660 Ti. Now, again, I would only recommend these blower styles if you're going to put it underwater. Now, I personally would do that. I think that's really cool and really fun, and, Vega is really designed for the enthusiast, so there you go. But right over here, for a little bit more, right, $330, you can get a Vega 56 Power Color Red Dragon, really great for air-cooled card. This is probably the best air-cooled Vega 56. Overclocks pretty well. Just an amazing card altogether. So those would be the two ones that I'd recommend. Really good prices and really great cards. Now for liquid cooling, let's see if I can get it up here quickly. EK A240R. I think that's the one for Radeon. The fluid gaming. Yes. Okay, so this is the water cooling kit that EK has for Vega graphics cards. It's for Vega 56 and 64. It comes with a radiator, fans, the tubings, the fittings you need for all this stuff, the pump, the reservoir, the CPU blocks. You can custom liquid cool your whole computer. It comes with a concentrate that you have to then pour distilled water into and mix it up, and then you can fill your loop with that. It'll keep your CPU very cool. It'll keep your GPU very cool. But then that unlocks something special that you can do on Vega, which is flash the BIOS. Okay, you can flash a Vega 64 BIOS onto a 56. Plenty of people have done it, and they claim that they're getting really great performance. Now, you could go even a step further and put a Vega 64 liquid cooled BIOS on this card, because you are custom loop liquid cooling it. You're actively cooling the CPU, well, I guess you are cooling the CPU, but you're actively cooling the graphics core, the HBM, and the power delivery with this water block, meaning that you will have no fear, or you should have no fear, putting the liquid cooled BIOS on this and really pushing those overclocks. This is a really cool idea that you can't do with NVIDIA graphics cards. That just, they don't have that. That's something unique to Vega. So you can do that with Vega. You can go ahead and put the liquid cooled BIOS on the 56 that you pick up used for $265, or if you want to go new, $300. Overclock the snot out of it, and I guarantee you'll probably get a lot closer to 1080 performance than the 9% that we saw right here. Right, you'll probably get a lot closer to it. I don't know if you'll catch up. I don't know if you'll beat it, but you'll definitely get a lot closer than 9%. That's what I personally would do. I'd probably pick up a used one for around $265 or so, right? And get this water block, because I already have a custom loop. Get this water block, and I have the NVIDIA version, so I would just swap out the block, flash the BIOS, and see how far you can take it. Again, we have been able to see really amazing performance out of Vega 56. Again, the other video to look at would be the Gamers Nexus video, the one where they basically showed that if you don't care about power or heat, you can go ahead and just pump so much power through Vega 56 that it actually can compete with the 2070. That's crazy when you think about it. It does make the Vega 64 a little bit less relevant if you're willing to tinker with it and really push the clocks and push the core on Vega 56. But Vega 64 is more for those who just want an amazing card, overclock it a little bit. But if you're willing to really get your hands dirty, really go all out, you can really get that Vega 56 to scream. And this is what I would do. This just seems like so much fun to me. If I had unlimited money, I definitely would do that. But if you're in the market for a Vega 56, or you just like AMD and you don't want to get an NVIDIA card, this is where it's at right now. This is the best, in my opinion. Of course, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that. I was going to say it's the best value. I don't know if it's the best value, because the 580s and the 570s are so cheap new, and if you go used, they're even cheaper used, so those are really good value. But for the enthusiast out there who wants to get an AMD card, this is where you gotta go. Grab a Vega 56, overclock it, have fun with it. If you get the Pulse card, this one, not the Pulse, sorry, the Red Dragon card, overclock it, see how far you can get. If you get one of these ones, liquid cool it, in my opinion, overclock the snot out of it, put the liquid cooled BIOS on it, and see how far you can get it. That to me just sounds like so much fun, and maybe I'll end up doing that in the future, but definitely not anytime soon. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.